Hello, today we're going to be making Granchi alla marinara con spaghetti e limone. Granchi alla marinara is also known as sailor-style crab. The very first step in this recipe is to boil the spaghetti noodles until they are al dente. You do not want the spaghetti too hard and raw or too soft and wet. You want it just in between and firm to the bite. And we're going to be using crabs, obviously, because this is sailor style crab. This is about 2 pounds of crab. You can use any type of crab. Dungeness works too. And yeah, any type of crab would work for this recipe. And the primary sauce in this recipe is made from tomatoes. You also need tomato paste. 2 pounds of crab meat isn't actually a lot because most of the weight is coming from the shells, and there isn't that much meat in the little claws. Most of the meat are in the big claws. The legs of this type of crab doesn't really have a whole lot of meat. We're going to be using crushed tomatoes with basil by Mirror Glen brand, and we're also going to be using tomato sauce. And I believe that all of these tomatoes were grown in California. The tomato sauce is very high quality, and the crushed tomatoes look good too. And we also need a can of tomato paste, which we will be putting in the sauce. Tomatoes have a very deep, rich, acidic flavor, which is why we're also going to be needing 1 lemon to make it even more acidic. The acid will make the sauce have a fresh and vibrant flavor. For Granchi alla marinara, I prefer to use yellow lemons. I don't really like using limes because I feel like for Granchi alla marinara, lemons are better. And for the herbs, we're going to be using sage, rosemary, thyme, and oregano. I feel as if the oregano is one of the most important herbs for this recipe, and the thyme also. We're also going to be needing 1 yellow onion, and the yellow onion will give the flavor a robustness. And the green stuff in the bag, that's frozen basil. You can use fresh basil most definitely, but I only had the frozen one. So yeah, and the first step into cooking the Granchi alla marinara crab is to put extra virgin olive oil onto the pan, and I also use garlic, so put this on the pan also and let it fry up. The garlic will give the Granchi alla marinara a very strong and robust scent and flavor, and the onions will do the same. Since there wasn't that much crab, I only used half an onion. Half an onion should suffice for this much crab, and it should be enough. You could use the whole onion if you really want it oniony, but I didn't want it oniony. I only wanted it with a little bit, so yeah, I only used half. After the onions have become soft, it's time to put the crushed red tomatoes into the pan. And we're going to be stirring this and also put the tomato sauce in the pan around the same time. Basically, you should put both the red crushed tomatoes and the tomato sauce in on the pan at the same time, and also stir in the entire can of tomato concentrate or tomato paste. Use the entire can. It's not actually that much. It's basically a mini can. And this is about time to chop up the herbs. And after you chop up the herbs, put it into the pan so so all the flavors from the herb get into the sauce. The herbs will give the sauce an herby smell and a herby flavor, which is what you want. And after the sauce has become hot, it's time to put in all of the crab. Basically, at this point, you should put everything into the pan. It will take about 30 minutes for the crab to cook completely, so have some patience and let the crab cook. And this is pretty much one of the last steps. There isn't much to do after this. And what I did was I put in the basil at this time, at the end, because I thought it was good at this time. And basically, the basil will start to melt into the pan. And you don't need all that much. You need maybe about a quarter cup of basil. That should be enough. And as the crab is cooking, squeeze the entire lemon into the sauce, which will give it a nice sour flavor. And for tomato sauces featuring seafood, lemons are usually okay, traditionally speaking, because it'll give it some vibrancy and some acidity. And that's pretty much it. That's how you make Granchi alla Marinara. Buon appetito!